Yo, what is up, everybody? It's boy Soto here with the Autumn Windbags, back with another one. Ah, this was a tough game, man, and I'm not talking about the loss. I couldn't care less about the loss. It was a rough watch for me. Um, it kind of showed me that these guys are who they are, um, and they don't seem to be able to handle the big time pressure. Today was a big pressure game, and we're going to get into all of it. There's 2 minute warning right now. It's 27-12. I'm not too worried about the game, losing the game. I'm not too worried about the score right now. I am pretty concerned over a few things. Um, yeah. Missing DC yet? No, no, not at all. I'm okay. I'm fine. Thank you. That ship sailed a long time ago. That's like seeing your ex girlfriend, and she did all the things that she should have done when she was with you. She was like coming out of bed and like wearing sweats every day and like not putting makeup on and not brushing her teeth and letting herself go. She gained another 30 pounds. And then you see her 2 years after you guys break up and she's wearing a hot dress and heels and lost weight and, did herself up nice. Yeah, the other shit is still there. Okay. The other stuff is still there. I don't look back. So, no. Before we go any further, everybody, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It's the way you can support this channel. Memberships are open. Become a member today. A couple of cool things for memberships. You get priority for questions on live. You get priority for What Up Windbags. You get your questions and comments answered or highlighted. You also get to see all the shows before. We don't just, finish editing the shows and drop them right then and there. We schedule them for the next day. But if you remember, you get to get them early. So a lot of cool stuff. Also, discounts on merch and all that good stuff. So memberships start as low as $3, I believe. So go ahead and check it out. It's a way you can support this channel. RJ and I are not getting rich off of this thing. We're trying to just get ourselves, better production, just better equipment. The more money we make, the better our broadcasts are and stuff like that. All right, guys. Couple things here. This game, for me, it was telling for a lot of reasons. Let's start with the positive. Okay, I think our defensive backs are going to be a good strength of this team. Ja'Cory and Bennett look good, although Jack Jones got beat on a double move at the goal line. I think he played really well, and I'm liking Luke Getsy's offense. I don't see the lack of production offensively an issue with the offense scheme or schematic. I don't see that being the issue. There were players open. There were plays that were there to be made. The issue that I'm seeing is we're seeing some issues execution wise on the offensive line, and they're missing a couple of starters. And we're seeing some issues at quarterback, them not making the plays that need to be made. So, as of right now, what I'm looking at here is a minute 11 left. We kicked the ball back, punted 3 and out, I believe. And the Cowboys have it. They're just going to kneel the ball out. We have 3 timeouts, but I mean, what are we doing here? Yeah. So, there's a few things that we can get into right away. The first thing I want to get into is the interior of our defensive line. We had starters playing. We still give up like almost 120 yards rushing in the first half. And a lot of it was due to the interior defensive line not being able to shed blocks. not being able to eat up double teams and get our linebackers open. Our linebackers, I think, ran well. Spillane and Diablo, I think, played pretty well. But our interior defensive line is not playing well whatsoever. This is 2 games in a row now where they are not holding up their end of the bargain. And for this defense to be where it needs to be, and make no mistake, this defense needs to be a top 10 defense for us to win any number of games. If we're not a top 10 defense, we're going to win 3-4 games. Our offense can't carry us. But in order for this defense to be that top 10 defense, this defensive line must drive this defense. It needs to go from the inside out. And a big part of that is being able to stop the run. And unfortunately, we did not do a very good job of that so far in the preseason. All right. Couple of things that we want to get into. I mean, look, even against, primarily backups against the Cowboys defense, Gardner Minshew didn't look great. There was a few plays that let me get rid of this. There was a few plays that were left out there for him. He started off pretty well. He stayed in the pocket, went through his progressions, and hit Mayer. Then had some bad throws over. I mean, he had some good plays and he had some bad plays. Ultimately, him being a 50% completion percentage guy is just not going to get it done. The issue that I'm seeing with what's happening offensively is you have the tale of 2 quarterbacks. And I think we're all football guys. I don't think anyone is jumping on to watch content creators of their favorite team, and they don't understand the game. I think we understand the eye test, and then when you take a look at the numbers, it matches up to the eye test. Aidan O'Connell is the stay in the pocket guy, the throw it on time guy. He's going to chunk the ball down the field, little chunks here and there. That's just who he's going to be. He's not going to put the ball out there. He's going to make the safe play more often than not. And you're not going to get very many explosive plays with Aidan O'Connell. As far as Gardner Minshew goes, you are going to see more explosive. You're going to see more explosive plays with Gardner Minshew. Unfortunately, you're not going to see the easy plays, the way Aidan O'Connell would stand tall in the pocket and deliver it and go through his progression. You're not going to see that all the time with Gardner Minshew. That's not his game. He's a more erratic type of guy, jumping in the pocket. He's looking to push the ball down the field. That's just who he is. That's his demeanor. That's just his makeup. He's looking to push the ball down the field. If we can get a little bit of Gardner Minshew and put it into Aidan O'Connell, or we can get a little bit of Aidan O'Connell and put it into Gardner Minshew, I think we would have something there. But unfortunately, these guys are who they are. Gardner Minshew, we've seen him for years already. We know who this guy's going to be. He's going to be that guy. Is he going to make some big plays? Sure he is. He's going to make some big plays. He's going to make plays down the field. That's just who he is. Is he going to miss some simple plays? Yes, he's going to miss them a lot. But that's the give and take you have with a guy like Gardner Minshew. Aidan O'Connell. Is he going to make the safe play? Yes. For the most part, is he going to take care of the football? Yes. Is he going to give you those explosive plays? No, not really. He can, but he's as erratic as Gardner Minshew is making plays in the pocket. That's how erratic Aidan O'Connell is making plays downfield, let's say past 10 yards. So you're not going to get very many explosive plays consistently from Aidan O'Connell. I thought after 3 quarters, this was locked up. Aidan O'Connell consistently looked better. He was more consistent. He was more poised. He threw the ball out and had better balls than Minshew. And I'm not talking about in the shower. But his ball looked better. His placement was nicer. He had nice zip on the ball. he had command of the offense. Great. Then he threw that pick six. And that's the issue with a player like Aidan O'Connell. You don't get the risk and reward with him, right? I say it all the time, and I don't know if you guys are sick of me saying this, but I will take the turnovers of a Josh Allen if he gives me the touchdowns that Josh Allen gives me, because they come from the same place. A bad joke, right? An insensitive joke, or just a bad joke that doesn't land, right? They all come from the same place. They come from an idea. And sometimes the idea, strikes a nerve with people in the good way. And sometimes that idea strikes a nerve in a bad way with people. But you can't fault the joke itself. It comes, or the joke writer, the comedian. It comes from the same place. That's why you can't be too hard on Josh Allen for his turnovers, because he scores more touchdowns than anybody else too. If Aidan O'Connell is going to play the way he played today, 70% completion percentage around there, very poor average. I mean, his average was less than 5 yards an attempt. That is like piss poor. If you're under 5, that's really bad. So if you're going to dink and dunk the ball down the field, you're not going to push the ball down the field, or you're not going to connect pushing the ball down the field. You can't turn the ball over. You just can't have it. And for a lot of you fans, really staunch backers of Aidan O'Connell, that's just the truth of it. If you're not going to take chances down the field, you can't turn the ball over, like, ever. If you're going to be that safe, if you're going to be less than 5 yards per attempt safe, you can't turn the ball over. And especially a pick six to like a third string linebacker. That just can't happen. Up until that point, I believe Aidan O'Connell had won himself the job with his accuracy, his command of the offense, stuff like that. I'll tell you one thing. After that pick six, I still think he probably has the edge because of the stronger consistency of the offense. You can count on the offense running the way it should run with Aidan O'Connell more than with Gardner Minshew. That's where I think he has the leg up. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think after that pick six. It just was a really bad decision and an even worse throw. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. Raider Way 510. We're screwed at quarterback. Minshew, though, in total led drives to 20 points, no turnovers. AOC led drives to 13 points, with a pick six against third stringers. Gun to my head, I go with Minshew. Shake my head. Thank you, Raider Ray 510. Appreciate that. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's all in, like, when someone asks you a question, you have to define, all the points. Like, who's the better quarterback? Well, define better, right? What are you looking for? I want a guy who could push the ball down the field. Okay, great. Then you want Gardner Minshew. I want a guy who could run the offense, be on time, blah, 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 blah. Okay, then, that all depends on what you're looking for. Not only for the head coach, but for your team, how your team is built. Also for your offensive coordinator, how he wants to call a game. There's a lot of variables that go into play here. I'll be honest with you, Raider Ray. I'm in alignment with you on this. I'm not super jazzed about either one of these guys right now because they didn't really play a lot of starters. No Diggs, no Parsons, none of these guys, and we still look pedestrian. at the position. Again, we didn't have our complement of targets either, right? You know, no Tay, uh, no Bowers. I think Jacoby Myers only played like one series or something like that, or if he played at all, I don't remember seeing him. But let's see here. Let's see here. Hefen Knight preview if what our season is going to look like with trash ass quarterbacks. Our last three general managers should be banned from the league by letting all the new young, talented quarterbacks slip by. It's kind of hard to argue with that. I think, and I do think, and this is going to be a shocker here to everyone. I do think that our former quarterback is able to win in this league. I think he's able to win and go far and win a lot of games. The issue is I don't know that his talent and his makeup matches up to what his asking price would be, and that he would need a lot more around him than would justify his price tag. And I think that he was just good enough for us to not look for another quarterback. He's really good. He's good. We just need to get more around him. And normally, when you have that dude at quarterback, you don't need that much to be perfect around. You need to have all these weapons, and the offensive line needs to be this good, and the defense is to be this good. No, normally, if you have that guy at quarterback, he covers up a lot of that stink. What we're looking at now is we have targets, right, for whoever's the quarterback is going to be. Our defense does not looking great, and I think that when the defense is not creating turnovers, that causes us to go long fields. It's similar to what we're asking opposing offenses to do against our defense. Using our punter, having a staunch defense, making the teams go long drives, long fields in order to score. When we don't get turnovers, we're asking our offense, who's led by quarterbacks that maybe aren't the best, to go long fields as well. That's also a handicap. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. Now, again, I've seen teams go out there and just fall flat on their face in preseason, and then you see them in regular season and they're just a different team, right? I would have liked the team to show a little bit more fire. I haven't seen this team really just let loose. And I don't know whether we're like either just believing our own press clippings, believing our own hype, right? I don't know whether we're just kind of like saving it for the regular season to explode. I always say it's not a light switch. You can't just turn it on and off. You need to play that way, and everyone needs to play the same way, right? I do think that there was some extenuating circumstances this season. As far as a quarterback goes, I don't think really many people saw Atlanta getting the quarterback that they did at the time that they did. I don't know that any other team was really looking at this quarterback that early. Maybe Seattle at 15, maybe they wanted to move up. There was some sense that they wanted to move up. As far as like in the later rounds, you guys can go back to my draft previews shows that I did. I had Joe Milton out there as somebody that you should take. If you miss, and if you guys remember, if you miss on a quarterback in the first round for whatever reason, Joe Milton was a good find, but don't wait till the sixth round to get him. You have to get him in like the fourth or fifth, because he's going to get his arm talent is just too good to wait. And once again, I've proven to be the smartest man alive, because he looks to be someone who can really move the ball down the field. How did he do? Not great. Yeah, he's a young guy, man. This last game, he went 2 for 7 for 20 yards. Got sacked twice for 15 yards. Not good. He had 3 runs for 9 yards. It's gonna be a long season, guys. It's gonna be a long season, and unfortunately, I don't know if anyone understands how this is all going to play out. There's some concerns, but there's also some things that we haven't really seen. I haven't really seen anything of substance play wise, defensively. I think we're just kind of sitting in our defense and letting the plays play out. Going against mostly starters and some backups. Now Cooper Rush has won a lot of games in the NFL. He won, I think, 5 in a row or something like that when Dak was out. And Trey Lance was a top 3 pick. So these guys have talent. And we gave up 6 points in the first half. So I'm not too concerned about the defense, to be completely honest with you guys. I'm sorry. Gave up 13 points in the first half. I'm not too concerned about that. What I am concerned about is our ability to stop the run. That's something that's very concerning to me. And I don't know that we've seen the full complement of our offense. I will say this: I'm a little bit let down by the performance of our quarterbacks. I think everyone is, because I think we were all looking for someone to go out and grab the job and take it. Because I think that's what AP has been saying for so long. He wanted someone to go up and get it, go out and grab that position and let it be theirs. But unfortunately, I think it's a lot closer to what RJ was saying, is that instead of someone winning this job, he believes somebody is going to lose the job just by playing worse. Honestly, I don't know what is worse: being a 50% completion guy, but having the same amount of yards as somebody who threw for 70% with the same amount of attempts. Yeah, Gardner Minshew was 10 for 21 for 95 yards. O'Connell was 14 for 20 for 96 yards. So 4 less completions, same amount of attempts, same amount of yards. I am very concerned about the bogging down in the red zone. That's something that I don't. It's tough, man. All this stuff is tough to process, because it's so different from what we saw in the first game. Both of these guys, I mean, O'Connell played okay. I wouldn't say he played extremely well. And then with that pick 6, he made it a pretty poor game. Let's see here. Luis Galvez. I'm worried about our starting D-line having 0 sacks. Yeah, man, you and me both. Miguel Angel Garcia Jr. Preseason is bullshit. Don't matter. Wait for week 1. As a whole, I agree with you. That's why I'm not too concerned with wins and losses. I'm not at all. Not in the preseason. What I'm concerned with are how individual players or individual groups look and how they play. My 2 concerns out of week 1 were quarterback and interior defensive line. And in heading out of week 2, my concerns are still quarterback on offense and interior defensive line on defense. So none of that has changed. Mark Davis's barber. I've been worried about our running back since Jacobs wasn't re-signed. Well, Zamir White had 4 carries for 23 yards. It's 5 points. That's almost 6 yards a carry. I think we're going to be okay. Again, if you guys remember, Zamir White didn't start becoming the Zeus that we saw last season until he started getting the majority of the carries. He's not the kind of guy who's going to wow you in 1 or 2, 3 handful of carries. He needs to get a bunch of carries to get involved in the game. I think we're going to be fine there. AP Galactic Goo. AP at Goner if they only win 3 games. I'll be honest with you. I don't think so. I hope that we don't win only 3. But if we end up being one of the worst teams in the league this season, I think we'll know why. And I think we have to give him a chance because he doesn't have his quarterback. He didn't draft Aidan O'Connell. Gardner Minshew was just a guy to bring in. I think depending on what happens, I mean, I think our quarterback next year may be Dak. Who knows? But for right now, I wouldn't think that far ahead. I think it's a little bit premature to look at this and, we're going to win this many games, that many games. I think that in an entire game, what did we've given up 16 points with players that are actually going to play. We've given up 16 points in an entire game. I think that's all right. I think we'll be okay. East Coast Raider O'Connell is the starter. Maybe. I think he's got as good a shot as anybody else. I don't think he's head and shoulders above Gardner. I'll tell you one thing. In that Minnesota game, if we had 3 quarters of Aidan O'Connell not putting up a point, I'm sure Gardner Minshew could have gone in there and made a little something happen for us. I think he's the type of guy that you can get in there and he's kind of like, if you guys remember the Bad Boys, the Pistons, remember Vinny Johnson? They call him the microwave because he gets hot quick. You just come off the bench and he can give you a quick 10, 12 points, within like 5 minutes. You need to close the gap or something. You need to get some quick points. You put Vinny Johnson in, he'll go ahead and heat up for you. That could be a Gardner Minshew for us if we're having some stagnation offensively. Let's see here. Holy fuck. All these Reddit mods mad because it's preseason. Yeah. Look, man, I get it. I understand. We all want some content. We all want things to talk about. And we can get into all that stuff. But unfortunately, we can only talk about what we've seen and what that means going forward. This was a prime opportunity. I think both quarterbacks felt the pressure. And I think that we haven't seen too much of Gardner Minshew feeling pressure. I think he looked very nervous today. He didn't look comfortable. But I'll tell you one thing. When the chips were down and when it was a big pressure time for Aidan O'Connell, he's thrown picks. He threw it against Indy. He threw it against Minnesota. He threw it against the Chargers. He didn't complete a pass for the last 3 quarters against the Chiefs. Like this game, okay, you got your last drive. Seal the deal. Leave no doubt that you're the starter. Throws a pick 6. It's like, dude, what's going on, man? And I understand the sample size is small, but this is what we're seeing. So I don't think it can be ignored. As a whole, if you take a look at the whole entire preseason, I do feel Aidan O'Connell is ahead, and because of that, I think he's going to win the job. Plus, I've said it before. I think that Devontae Adams is a fan of Aidan O'Connell. I think he wants Aidan O'Connell, so I think that's going to go into the mix as well. Um, Francisco Pancho, preseason does not show you anything. That is false. That is false. Preseason shows you a lot. It doesn't show you how your team is going to play as a whole because you're not playing your whole team and you're not playing whole teams. But position battles, individual performances, things like that. I think this preseason has been big. It's been huge for Trey Tucker. I think all the people that were, crapping all over the Trey Tucker pick last season are maybe kind of taking a step back now. All right, this guy looks legit. I know what it said that he ran at the combine, but I know that his senior day was like a 4.3, and I was trying to tell everybody that last season this guy's a burner. He had LASIK surgery. He's not dropping balls anymore. I think this preseason has been really big for DJ Turner. I think DJ Turner is looking at as somebody who can return punts and kicks and also be a viable weapon at receiver. I think this is being a big piece preseason for some of our lesser known tight ends. They've been playing well, blocking well, and also catching passes. Jacorian Bennett, this is being a big preseason for. I think he's played really well. It solidified Jack Jones as the leader of our secondary back there. I think this preseason has been big for a lot of players. I think Isaiah Polamalu has been making a ton of plays with that second unit in the secondary and also on special teams. So I'm not trying to say that it shows you nothing, but it doesn't show you how your entire team is going to look. But it definitely does show you a lot. Mark Davis is Barber, not looking good. Quarterback carousel. These quarterbacks are not the future. Yeah. I don't know that anyone that was being honest really felt that any one of these quarterbacks was a long-term answer for us at the position. I'm not going to raise my hand and say that I said that. I don't think so. I think that RJ and I have said from the very beginning, Aidan O'Connell was a high-end backup, low-end starter, pretty good spot starter type of guy. I think you can win games with a guy like this if you're able to take advantage of the deep shots when you can and not turn the ball over. Aidan O'Connell didn't either. He didn't take advantage of his deep shots, and he did turn the ball over. That's why it wasn't a good game for him. Let's see here. Jeremiah Rose, a pick six is not good. Yes, especially against a guy who's going to be playing in the UFL next year. No good, no good. Um, let's see here. Raider Ray again. Minshew will lose us games, but he'll win us games too. There's no reward with AOC. It's all safe. No reward. Well, I wouldn't say necessarily that there's no reward with Aidan O'Connell. I think that he has to be complemented heavily by our defense. I think he needs to be augmented by turnovers, and he needs to be kind of amplified by field position for sure. I don't know that I would necessarily trust him to be the type of quarterback that can lead us long drives for touchdowns consistently multiple times in a game. I think he can do it once or maybe even twice a game. I don't think that's going to be something he can do, especially not being able to get big chunk plays. It's very difficult to just nickel and dime yourself down the field. Very difficult to do that. If you're anybody, especially someone who is maybe a little bit more risk averse, like Aidan O'Connell, who doesn't put the ball out there as much. So there's a lot to be said for how he plays, But again, like I was talking about with Carr previously, and Carr has a little bit more ability to push the ball down the field, and even he needed quite a bit in order to win consistently. Aidan O'Connell he needs a top 10 defense and a ball hawking turnover defense in order to win games. He can't do it if his defense isn't, giving him short fields. Oof. All right. I'll tell you one thing that I'm very excited about. The peach shake. I'm talking like my mom now. The peach shake from Chick-fil-A is back. And that monster is freaking delicious. That's like my favorite shake ever. Carl's Oreo shake is pretty good. But Chick-fil-A's peach shake, if you haven't had the peach shake at Chick-fil-A, get it. It's one of my favorites. Let's see here. East Coast Raider, that pick six means nothing. It all depends on how you look at that statement. Means nothing as opposed as far as the end result of who's chosen. Maybe O'Connell had done enough to already win the job in the eyes of the decision makers. I can give you that. But saying that it means nothing overall, I don't think that's the case. I think it means something. I think that the decision to throw the ball and the poor placement is definitely something that needs to be kind of banked, because that was a very big drive for Aidan O'Connell. We were, within 1 point. We had the ball, and okay, O'Connell put the stamp on your resume for the starting job, and he threw a pick six. It doesn't inspire a lot of hope. I don't know that. I think you're confident that he'll win the job. I don't know how confident you are in him overall. And I think that's kind of a microcosm for all of Raider Nation. I think most of us are confident that Aidan O'Connell has done enough to win the job. I don't know that necessarily means we have a lot of confidence in him, if that makes sense. And again, East Coast Raider. Devontae wants O'Connell. Yeah, duh. I think that we've all known that. That's a very astute observation. I think we all believe that. Dickie Vitale is back. What about trying to get Trey Lance? Honestly, I think that the Dallas would be kind of foolish to let Trey Lance go at this point. I think Cooper Rush is a very capable high-end backup quarterback. I don't think he's a starting caliber quarterback. I think Trey Lance has shown the ability to be a starter. Now, I don't know that Dak and his team have made it a point to even negotiate during the season. So Dallas has a couple of weeks to get this done. I think it would be foolish for Dallas to get rid of Trey Lance with the team that they have in win now mode. They've won 12 games the last 3 seasons, right? So I don't know that getting rid of Trey Lance when you don't have Dak Prescott locked up is a smart thing. I think if, let's say, for example, let's just say, I'm not saying I want this to happen or whatever, right? Because I know you guys are going to jump on every little thing I say. Let's just say that the Raiders go out and sign Dak Prescott, make him the first $60 million a year guy. Let's just say that happens. Let's just say. I think that Dallas feels okay with Trey Lance as their starting quarterback, and then seeing how that works because of the team they have around him, of the weapons, of the defense, all that stuff, right? Hell, their freaking kicker just kicked a 66-yard field goal. Freaking nuts, right? So I do think that's a safer option for Dallas moving forward in the short and long term, because I don't know if they are too confident of what's going to happen with Dak. So if I was Dallas, I wouldn't let Trey Lance go. Little Sean, Aidan looked better. I think overall he looked better. They're I think that um, you know it's almost like I got fuzz on my face. No, I haven't been doing coke. I just got fuzz on my nose. Um, I think it's like you are you make a great meal and you drop the fork and you're gonna eat it and you're like, yeah, this meal is really good. The meal is still the same. It's not. Eh, yeah, my fork is dirty. Um, I think O'Connell before that last pass. It's a shame that his preseason ended the way it did. I'll tell you something right now. Carter Bradley didn't look too bad. Didn't look too bad. Looks like a coach's son, right? I definitely think that Carter Bradley is someone you can stash on your practice squad and maybe develop for a backup role in the future. Looked pretty good. The ball came out nice. He did have a delay of game. He's a rookie, whatever, but didn't look too bad. Let's see here. AFC pushed the ball downfield all last season. I mean, I would like to see some statistics. All the statistics that I've seen show that he had a slightly below average yards per attempt. And he was tied for worst in the NFL in the reason his passes past 10 yards were incomplete due to inaccuracy. So, I mean, throwing the ball deep is one thing. Making it an accurate throw and making it a ball that could be caught is something that's quite different. Pushing the ball down the field, I mean, when I say that, is completing passes, right? Giving your receivers, your targets shots at completing these passes. He's throwing the ball deep. I mean, Devontae Adams ran 120 some odd go routes, and those go routes that were thrown to him were inaccurate throws 63% of the time. These are hard facts. So I know what you guys may believe is true. I'm coming to you with facts. These are facts. Last season, he was not accurate deep. He was not accurate past 10 yards. The majority, he was just as bad as the worst person in the NFL going 10 yards of having incompletions that were his fault. It's tough, man. It's tough. And I'm not really seeing anything that's too different in these last two games. When we don't see a defense that's turning the ball over or giving him a lot shorter fields, we're seeing a different Aidan O'Connell for sure. Let's see what we got going on here, guys. Oh boy, Bobo, you are the Bobo here. Another dumbass comment. All right, I'll give you a chance to respond. Let's see what we got going on here. Jeremiah Rose, Tucker looked good. Yeah, man. Like I said, the preseason was great for guys like Trey Tucker, DJ Turner, Polo Mao, Jacorian Bennett. Like these are guys that really showed that they belong and they really need to get a bigger look. I think Amir Abdullah today looked really good. He caught a couple passes. I don't know that he ran the ball one time for like 4 yards or something like that, but he caught a couple balls. Let's see what he did. Amir Abdullah, 2 catches for 10 yards. One of them was a first down, a little shake and bake. I think he kind of solidified his third down back role. I think he showed some pop. Let's see here. Who's this fool? Johnny Woods. Y'all sorry. Looking at his picture and how tough he's trying to look, I'm assuming that's a Dallas fan. Because they all look tough until you call them out and they start crying. Let's see here. So honestly, guys, there's really not much else to freaking talk about here. Giovanni Raider, thank you for the super chat, man. Hot take: keep McCormick over Lauby, Abdullah over Lauby. I don't know that Sean McCormick has shown that he is head and shoulders the better option. Head and shoulders. One of the things that Lauby has over McCormick is not only is he cheaper this season, he's going to be cheaper for a few seasons because McCormick's going to need a new contract coming up. Lauby's going to be under his rookie contract for a few more years. All that matters. I don't think there's too much of a difference between Lauby and McCormick as far as the production that we've seen. I mean, if the production is different in practice or whatever, we don't know. But as of right now, I don't know that the production in the preseason games has been too terribly different between the two. Again, Giovanni Raiders, thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. Rusty Nail, 9-10 win Soto, question mark. Looks like 5-6 win team to me. I agree. If this is the team that we're going to see, yeah. But we didn't have our best weapons out there. We didn't have our best offensive linemen out there. I would caution ourselves to think that we're going to be poor because we lost 2 games. I think that these are just extensions of practice where we're putting players out there, and these are combinations of players who maybe haven't even practiced too much together. It's not time for the panic button just yet. Rich Vital, AOC reminds me of Jacoby Brissett. I think Jacoby Brissett is more mobile than AOC, to be honest with you. I think this is a nightmare name. I want to try to get it. Minsan Lang Kitang Begin. I don't know, bro. Well, sorry for butchering your name, bro, but you got to admit it's pretty freaking long. It's very humbling. Yeah, it's difficult because we all have to understand this is not the true representation of what our team is going to be on the field come September 8th, which is actually my birthday. It's not a true representation of that. We're going to see our stars. We're going to see, our best players out there all playing together and everything. We're going to see a more sophisticated scheme and everything. So it's not a true representation. There is some area for concern. But ultimately, again, it's not a doom and gloom just yet. Let's see here. Let's see what else we got. What other questions you got for me, guys? Been on here for almost an hour. Let's see here. Okay, Autumn Winbag, why are you ignoring AOC TD drive? I am not ignoring it. I said he got a touchdown. Unfortunately, you need to score more than one touchdown to win games. And I think that touchdown is erased when another one of your throws goes for a touchdown for the other team. Does it not? Where's the net positive there? If you throw for a touchdown and then you throw a touchdown to the other team, same, homie. That's a wash. I'm not ignoring the fact that he threw a touchdown. I think we have to look at it as a whole. Last week he didn't throw a touchdown, and Gardner Minshew did. So it's like, yeah, if you want to start, going over these things, you have to go over them both ways, Edgardo Escobar. I feel bad for Adams. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't feel too bad for Devontae Adams. Look, if we win games, he's going to be winning games for the team that he grew up rooting for, his childhood team. Fucking A, right? Great. If we are falling straight on our face and we have no shot by midseason, we'll just trade him to the Jets and he'll be playing with his buddy again. I wouldn't feel too bad for Devontae Adams. He's going to be just fine. Ray Gonzalez. Big year for AOC. We must see if he can grow into a true number one. I'll tell you something right now. It doesn't look great. You know, you see flashes, but those flashes are pretty pedestrian production. You don't see those types of throws that you saw from Trey Lance pushing the ball down the field. You don't see that kind of dynamic play, even with quarterbacks that are a little bit less mobile, like let's say, for example, like a Kirk Cousins. He's got more of a more dynamic arm. He makes more dynamic plays down the field. It's just not. That's not Aidan O'Connell's game. Like I've been saying, he needs a lot more defensively as far as turnovers and field position in order to make that happen. Let's see here. What else we got here, players? Come on. Oof. Maniacs Delano. 4 wins tops. I'll take the over on that. The numbers, TV12 it is. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be some shit? If Tom Brady's like, you know what, y'all, let me go ahead and bless you real quick and hop on in there and start freaking playing games. I don't know. I don't care who's the quarterback. I don't care what their name is as long as we're winning games. I don't care. If it's Tom Brady, great. I don't think it's going to be Tom. I think he's done. I think he's had way too much freaking surgery on his face. He looks way too much like the freaking Tin Man in order to play quarterback again for anybody. I think he's a freaking weirdo. And I mean, I don't want him as my quarterback. I think if he was well enough, like physically to play quarterback, I wouldn't mind having him because he's Aidan O'Connell with a little bit stronger arm and can push the ball down the field more. That's what he is. All righty. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much it. Unless you guys have anything else new for me, I think the same stuff over and over again. I wanted to make this more of a forum for you guys to kind of get your opinions out, get your frustrations out. But look, it's not time to panic. This is not a true representation of the entire team that's going to be playing. Now, I will say this. The defensive line not performing well, the lack of sacks, that is extremely concerning to me. What's encouraging is the play of our secondary and the play of our linebackers. There's a reason why teams that have a lot of stars that are top heavy, let's say like a 49er team, right? They're top heavy. They have a lot of great stars on their team. They have one of the best running backs. They have probably one of the best quarterbacks, to be honest with you. They have 2 of the best receivers. They have 2 of the best offensive linemen. They have, a lot of guys in the secondary, 2 of the best linebackers in the NFL. And they're paying them a ton of money. There's a reason why they still win a lot of games is because you win when you have the best players. When you have a lot of good players, you don't win a lot of games. You need those great players. You need those top-end players. And I don't know that our top-end players, especially offensively, have played. The Colton Millers, the Devontae Adams, they haven't played. I think that's going to make a big difference with how our offense looks. Okay? All right, guys. That's it for me. I appreciate you guys sticking around. I know it's getting kind of late, but if I got to be up, you got to be up, okay? Once again, I want to let you guys know, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That's a way that you guys can support this channel. help us keep helping bring you guys the content that you love. Also, memberships are open. It's $3, guys, and the lowest one is $3. We're not asking for the world here, but that can really does help us be able to bring you guys the best content. We're not asking for the world here. We're just asking for you guys to help support us a little bit to get to create the best content we can for you and for us to keep doing what we love to do, which is talk about our Raiders. All right, guys. Until next time, everybody. Peace.